I've been trading for a decade now, been running businesses for the last 5, made my first million at 25, and since then I've made over 8 figures. And in this video, I am going to give you my last decade, 10 plus years of brutally honest, straight at your neck trading advice. You're not losing from a lack of strategy, you're losing because you're not disciplined. It's okay, you suck right now. But we can fix that. The reality of the situation is everybody thinks their strategy is terrible, their strategy sucks, and while that may be the case for a select few, the reality of the situation is you suffer from what the majority of traders suffer from, which is not being disciplined, which is revenge trading, which is being too greedy, which is not understanding when to cut your losses. There are a lot of factors when you are actually trading that determines whether you make money or lose money. It's not just as much as, you know, a matter of placing the trade and then placing your stop loss and then placing your take profit. It's not that simple. There's a lot of factors, emotional factors that come into it. Why'd you get into the trade? Were you doing something before you got into the trade? Did you just get in an argument? Is your head clouded? Are you stressed all the way out, right? Did you just lose your last 3 trades and you're trying to get your money back, right? Or did you just win your last 3 trades and you're trying to make more and be greedy when the market's telling you to get out? There's a lot of factors, and when you look at it from a bird's eye view, if you were like an all-knowing person, you're not God obviously, but if you were an all-knowing person, you would look at this person's brain, which is you, but the person in front of you, like if you were looking at yourself, and see, okay, you're trying to switch strategies and you're trying to go to here and here. It's not that. It's the fact that you can't control your greed. You have too high of a leverage. You risk entirely way too much. And discipline it feels like a never-ending game when it comes to trading. Even professional traders may slip up a few times, but the reality of the situation is they've conquered it for the most part to the point to where it's second nature. It's natural to them, where they're not necessarily worried about, okay, risk management, this and that, because they know to keep their risk under a certain percentage, to, if they lose a few trades, to step away from the market and not take it so seriously and just, okay, it's a bad day, we all lose. NBA players lose, baseball players lose, hockey players lose, soccer teams lose. But you go to sleep, you wake up, and you start a new day. Like I said, you suck right now, but it's not for the reasons you think you do. Next one, smart money concepts is not the only way to trade. And if you think so, you are a classified, spell it with a capital C, classified idiot. There are so many different ways to trade in this industry. Mind you, I've been here for a decade, so I would know. But there are so many people who come in learning from a smart money trader, and then they'll look at me, my strategy, my YouTube, and say flat out, oh, that doesn't work. He doesn't know what he's teaching. You just got into the market. I've been here since 2014. I've been here when Bitcoin was at 300 and 500 and 700. I watched it get to where it's at now. You just got here because of COVID and the pandemic, and that got you into trading. That's cool, but don't come in and be like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. When I was doing this, when you were still trying to ask a girl out and you still didn't lose that certain little card just yet, right? And I didn't say card, I said card. That's it. We know what I'm talking about. At that point, I was trading. Smart money concepts works. Let's not get what I just said like confused. Smart money concept works. But the difference is I am mature enough to understand smart money concepts works, but I don't need to trade that way. I don't like trading that way. I like trading the way I trade. You can never really master anything in this industry because you can have a great year one year, and the next 2 years you could suck, right? Just because of what I said in the first point, which was like the lack of discipline and stuff. But I'm mature enough to understand that, okay, this works, but it's not for me. And when you guys adopt that mindset, okay, this works, but it may not work for me, that's great. So when you look at me or my YouTube or my strategy, you can say flat out, okay, I can see how that works for him, but that won't work for me. Over here works for me, right? There's different ways to trade. There's regular price action. There's smart money concepts, of course. There is, AI trading with EAs and all other stuff. There's indicator-based trading. There's naked trading. And not obviously physically naked, but if you know what naked trading is if you've been trading for some time now, right? Bunch of different ways to trade. But smart money concepts is not the only way to trade. And if you think so, you are a classified, capital C, no crip, idiot. Ooh, this is gonna ruffle some feathers here. Small stop losses do not work over a multi-year track record. Now, that may be a blanket statement, and I am grown enough to say, okay, like there obviously is gonna be some exceptions. If there's 10,000 traders in the world, okay, yes, like 100 traders may figure out a way to make it work, but that's the small minority. And again, this is going to be controversial, right? Obviously, there's more than 10,000 traders in the world. I'm just giving you an example. But from my experience, all small stop losses do is get you out way earlier than you're supposed to. It'll make you feel like you suck at trading when you really don't, but it'll really, really, really make you feel like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. I should give up. I should leave. But your analysis was right. You said it was going to drop. And all it did was retrace a little bit, 7 pips, 5 pips, stopped you out, and then came crashing down. Your analysis was right. And when you look at your trading history and you see over more times than not, your analysis is damn near always right, but you always find yourself on the losing side of trades, there's a big chance that it's because your like stop loss is too small. And if you just gave it more of a breathing room, you would be way better of a trader. But since you don't do that, then you get stopped out. Then you're looking at ways to quit. And again, this is actual advice like that I've realized over the last 10 years. I was somebody who had small stop losses in 2014, 2015. I had the 10 pip stop losses, the 5 pip stop losses. I listened to people out there who said, if you have more than a 20 pip stop loss, you don't know how to trade. I did all of that. And in my experience, I've seen having stop losses like 40 and 50 pip stop losses give you the breathing room you need, because I am a swing trader. So my take profit is always like 200 pips, 250, 225, 185, right? So it's always a 1-to-3, 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. So don't ever let somebody say, oh, you always have to have a small stop loss, or if you have a wide stop loss, you don't know how to trade. That is highly inaccurate. All that matters is your risk to reward ratio. If you have a 200 pip stop loss, this is so far exaggerated, you have no idea. But if you have a 200 pip stop loss, but your take profit is 1,000 pips, and you're preparing for Brexit to happen, sorry, that's a good trade. That's a 1-in-5 risk to reward ratio over a multi-year record, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year record. Talking about, okay, I only have a 5 pip stop loss every single time. More times than not, from what I've seen, it is very, very hard to have a actual track record for over a span of a few years, as opposed to actually give your trade some room to breathe. It becomes a little bit easier. Another one, you do not need to trade every single day. The amount of people who feel like I gotta show up to the markets every single day, and if I don't, I'm this and X, Y, and Z is ludicrous. You do not have to trade every single day at all in any circumstance, right? Every single day is not a trading day. Every single week is not a trading week. And every single month, believe it or not, is not a trading month. There are some times where, I would like to trade for 3 weeks straight and then I like to take 2 weeks off, 1 week off, depending on how I'm feeling, right? People know this about me. Like, I would trade for 4 months straight and then take 2 months off, because there's so much, life to live out there, right? Like, I don't live my life to trade, right? Like, I basically trade to live, in a sense where I'm trading, but like, it's to give me more time with my family. It's to give me more freedom, flexibility, all the other stuff, right? Vacations, whatever the case may be, right? That's what I do it for, ideally. And when people come to this market be like, oh, you're not looking at the market today, blah, blah, blah. I just did it for 4 months straight. I'm taking a break. When you look at trading as I got to show up every single day, you'll find yourself finding opportunities that aren't really opportunities and that aren't there at all, right? So you need to scale back and know when it's a trading day, know when it's not a trading day, know when it's a trading week, know when it's not a trading week, and know when it is a trading month, and know when it's not a trading month, right? Prime example, people may say, oh, what do you mean not a trading month? A lot of people feel like, December and close to Christmas is not a trading month, right? Not necessarily like the entire month of December, but people may say December 9th through January 9th, that full 31 days, 30 days, X, Y, and Z, is not necessarily a trading month. That may be the case. I know people who take time off, right? I don't trade near Christmas. So understand every single day is not a trading day. And when you do that, you'll be better off. You are not a scam if you use your trading money to get into other investments. And what I mean by that is, if you use your trading money and you trade for, let's just say a magic wand happens and you trade for 3 years straight, like consistently, but it's all profitable and you make a ton of money. Let's just imagine a fairy tale world, right? Make a ton of money, but it was so stressful. And you use that money to start a business or jump in this field and you never trade again. You are not a scam. You did what you were supposed to do, and now you are on to your new ventures. This is the only industry in the world that'll make you feel bad for being great at something and then not even moving on to something else, just balancing something else, right? So prime example with me, I got great at trading before I ever started a business, before I ever started a YouTube, before I ever was like, yo, Swaggy C vlog currency. I was already good at trading. And people like to, get upset and say, oh, you have a business on trading, X, Y, and Z, you make YouTube videos on trading and that's monetized. So what? I did what I was supposed to do. And you're not gonna stop me. You gotta look at Conor McGregor and Rihanna. And by the way, like, quick story, side note, did you guys know her name was pronounced Rihanna? Like, literally, all her interviews, it's, hi, my name is Rihanna. It's not Rihanna. It's literally Rihanna. She says it herself. But I'm just gonna go Rihanna because I've been calling that for a decade and a half now. Anyway, you look at them, and Conor McGregor literally would fight 3 times a year in the UFC. Like, just fighting everybody. Chad Mendez, Jose Aldo, right? Eddie Alvarez, right? Just going at him. And then what happened? In a matter of, let's say, a couple of years, but real of a short stint, he fights Floyd Mayweather, gets a $100 million contract for that one fight, right? I don't know if it was 10 rounds or 12 rounds. I feel like it was 12 rounds and got stopped in the 10th, or 10 rounds got stopped in the 8th. I think it was 12-10, I don't remember. $100 million contract. Mind you, UFC was paying him $2 million plus pay-per-view points for a fight, right? Or even $1 million because he wasn't as big yet, right? 1, 2, 3 million per fight, right? And he got 100 M's from Floyd, not even the kicker. Then after that, his whiskey company that he started, right? Proper 12, he sells it for $185 million. His part, his share, right? So you come across close to $300 million in a short span. Guess what happened? If you look at how many times Conor has fought from 2013 to 2016, and then you go from after like the Floyd fight, the whiskey, the Proper 12 sale, the Khabib fight, and see how many times has Conor McGregor fought since 2017? It is not a lot at all. At all. I can probably name it right now. He fought Cowboy, beat Cowboy, fought Dustin, lost to Dustin, fought Dustin again in the third rematch I was there for, broke his leg. Like, and now he's trying to come back versus Michael Chandler. He's not active. Why? Dude is already rich. He did what he said he was going to do, which is fighting. And then he used that to get into business. Proper 12, right? Floyd Mayweather, which is boxing, right? Not even MMA, not even UFC. And then you look at Rihanna, right? You look at her, Rihanna, whatever, and she was a singer her entire career. And now all of a sudden people are begging her for an album because she done switched to her whole brand to Savage X Fenty, lingerie, hair, skincare. She transitioned. Now, I still haven't transitioned yet. But I get so much hate because I'm balancing. I'm balancing trading and I'm balancing teaching with trading, right? But if I was a trader and gave all my content all here and had my program, but all my content and built this massive audience, and all of a sudden I said, hey guys, I'm stopping all of this and you won't see me trade again. And now I'm going into construction. I'm just gonna have a bunch of construction companies or a bunch of real estate companies. You guys would have a fit. You're not a scam. You did what you said you were going to do, which was use trading as a stepping stool. If you didn't see one of my, videos that I made, which is called a 17-minute cure to your biggest trading problem. The premise of that video was, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. One of my favorite videos. Use trading as a stepping stool. Don't use it as, oh, I'm going to use trading to make $30 million. Is it possible? Yes. But what's more possible is use trading as something like, oh, I'm going to make 100K or 500K or $1 million or $2 million trading over a set period of time. And then use that money to invest in this, to start this, to do this, and then scale your whatever it is, investment, business, whatever case may be, on a parallel level with trading or just above it to supercharge it. You're not a scam if you do that. Know when to walk away and know when to stay. And I've always said this, I'm not walking away, but I have switched from day trading to swing trading, right? I've switched that. And there may be a time when I'm in my 40s or even mid 30s where I feel like I've traded enough. All I want to do is get back to the world, be a philanthropist and run a business and X, Y, and Z. And I'll just hold investments and be an angel investor and invest in companies and do X, Y, and Z. There may be a time because trading kept me sane from ages 19 years old to X, Y, and Z. If I stopped trading at 36 years old, and I don't mean stop trading, I don't mean stop completely. I mean like stop in the day to day, even though I swing trade now and I don't day trade, even that, and I just look at longer term investments. That's what I mean by stopping. If I trade from 19 to 36, that is 17 years of gain. You're allowed to move on. And I'm not moving on anytime soon. But all I'm saying is from the last 10 years I've seen, and I see Conor McGregor and Rihanna and all the other stuff, is like, no, flat out. It sounds so weird when I say her name, Rihanna. But actually, flat out, get into other investments. Don't diversify yet before you're rich. But once you get rich, diversify. So if you give yourself a time limit, you've already lost. If you give yourself, before you even walk into this industry, a time limit on, I'm gonna learn how to trade within a year, and if I don't, I'm quitting, you've already lost. Don't even start. Go back to the drawing board, do something else, because this ain't the industry for you. This is not the industry for you. I'm telling you flat out. Because this market is not something where you can say, I'm gonna do this for 365 days, and if I don't master it, I'm not doing it no more. Because there's so many things you have to understand over a 2, 3, 4 year process. It's not just that. It's not just I'm gonna make money or lose money. It's you gotta learn how to control yourself, control your emotions, have discipline. There's so many things you have to actually control that by giving yourself a time limit, even if it's 2 years, it's still too short. How trading should be looked at is, I'm going to have my job or 9 to 5 or freelance. If you look at Deep Pockets and learn a section from what we're teaching in there, and I'm going to do something, learn a skill and make money from that skill, and I'm going to keep trading until it works for me. Jim Rohn always says that. Like, would you look at your baby and give them a time limit on how long it takes them to learn how to walk? Oh yeah, I'm gonna give my baby 6 months to learn how to walk, 6 weeks to learn how to walk, 6 days to learn how to walk, 6 hours to learn how to walk, and I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm just not even gonna do it. They're not allowed to walk no more. No, you're not gonna say that. What are you gonna say? He's in his own words. I'm gonna let them walk until they figure it out. And until should be your best friend when it comes to this trading industry, no matter what. Do not give yourself a time limit. Look at it as, I'm gonna be here until I get it. And get it doesn't necessarily mean make millions of dollars. Get it could just mean making an extra 4 or 5K on top of what I'm already making from work. So now I have, a real work-life balance and I can afford to treat my family more. Now, chances are most of you guys watching this are looking at trading for, something higher, but it can mean whatever you want it to mean, no matter what. But just look at it as an until and not so much actual clock ticking. More chart time does, in fact, mean you'll get better, but also know when to cool your brain down. So when you have TradingView up on your charts and you're just analyzing and studying over and over and over and over again, yes, like logistically, you are getting better. Your eyes are being trained to see. But there's going to be some points in your life where it gets too much for your brain. You have analysis paralysis where you can't really make a decision. Know when to cool your brain down. People know in my journey, if you don't know my journey, you should know that when I was studying trading, I literally would study every single day. So much. I remember one summer, I did not go out anywhere. I just studied all day that summer, every single day that summer. Then that next year, I got into a habit of all right, I'm going to study. And at any point where I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself, meaning I'm just going through the motions and I'm not really understanding much or, remembering much because I'm just literally going through the motions. If at any point I feel that way, I would literally take a break and go see my friends in Boston or New Jersey. That's it. Literally, I literally would, right? And I am not a partier. I'm not X, Y, and Z. I really like to stay to myself. I never really partied, ever. But what I'm saying is, if I would literally study trading for 6 months straight, and I mean this with all my heart, if I literally would study trading for 6 months straight without a single day off, and now my brain is starting to get tired, I literally would jump in the car and go see my friends in Boston. And if they wanted to go to the club that night, I would go, not to do anything crazy, but just to literally just look at a new environment. And one, hang out with my friends, like my, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 friends I went with. But look at everybody else as, y'all do this every single Friday and Saturday, even Thursday. No, this is just for tonight so I can get my mind off of trading and refresh, and then wake up, tomorrow, still hang out with my friends, but not at the club. Let's just go to dinner, chill at the crib, watch a movie. And then Sunday when I'm back home, it's go time, because I saw what's out there. I saw my competition. I saw that y'all not doing much, right? So understand when to cool your brain down. It is not cool to study trading every single day, every hour, because your brain is going to melt. So understand. And when people say, don't go to, like me, don't go to parties, don't do this, and people are out there saying, don't play video games. What I'm saying, I can only speak for myself. What I'm saying is, study your ass off. And when you feel tired, I don't mean sleepy tired, when you feel sleepy tired, didn't go to sleep, but I mean like exhausted from like a overall, the last few days have been, kicking my ass, blah, 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 blah. I'm just exhausted, X, Y, and Z. Then it's okay to go to the club, do X, Y, and Z, like indulge in something, right? Like people talk about junk food. Like junk food is obviously bad, but like it's called a cheat meal for a reason. You just shock your body, like have a cheat meal every now and then, right? So it's the same when it comes to trading. You can have a cheat meal, right? Now, vacation isn't a cheat meal. You can literally study and go on vacation every single week. Because I look at vacation, so we may look at vacations differently, so I may take that back. I look at vacation as a way to relax and gain like more peace, be more serene, yada, yada, yada. You may look at vacation as party. If you look at vacation as that, then don't do that. But if you look at vacation as, I'm gonna bring some books, I'm gonna read on the ocean, just chill and relax, and order room service, then yes. I'm not talking about that. I'm only talking about the things that like video games, partying, X, Y, and Z. When that's the case, only do that when you've exhausted all options and studied your ass off. When you do that, then you don't feel as bad, because you're like, yo, I gave my game, and now I gotta give like some rest to my brain and then go back to it. Next one. There's no chance in the world you are going to flip a $10 account to $10 million. Stop thinking like that. And I mean that for all flips, right? I mean $100 to $100 million or 1,000 to, like, you're not gonna do it. There may be one trader out there or 2 or 3 who done turn, like, let's say 12,000 into X, Y, and Z, or bought a prop, challenge and a prop account and like got money like that. Cool. But like to turn like, thinking like a penny double a day, you're not doing that, right? It is so small to actually do that. People actually lose their accounts a lot more than actually seeing positive benefits from doing that. Because when you get in that flipping mindset, you start flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping, but you never take profits. So you're trying to flip, and then you blow it on one trade. Or you try to flip, and then you keep taking money out, so your account never really grows to the actual flip you want to get to. There's so many things wrong with that, which is why if you learn how to trade and you actually just had a higher account, whether that's saving up from your job or actually got a prop account, you would be so much better than the person who's trying to flip a small account. Now, if you done made it in this industry already, you're already solidified, you're already good, you're already like, you don't got to worry about money, X, Y, and Z, and you want to flip an account for fun, you can do that, because then it becomes fun, it becomes a joke, and you don't really worry about the loss, so you can really try to flip it with a sound mind. But if you're trying to live off of flipping, that is not going to work. That's not happening, because there's so much emotions involved already in trading that when you're actually trying to flip an account, it's going to be heightened, it's going to be dramatized, it's going to be 10 times worse. And you can't afford that when you have a small $100 account. You just can't. Like unless your emotions and psychology are on a million, which they aren't, because if they were, you wouldn't have a small $100 account, right? You wouldn't be testing, right? Unless it's that, then okay, cool. But most times than not, it's not that. And chances are you should be saving up for a prop account to actually, get a higher size account and pass that challenge, or save up at least, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and use that, to start an account with. Next one. Swing trading is better than day trading and less stressful. I can't tell you how better my life has been since starting swing trading. Now, I will say, people have asked me, well, you didn't get rich from swing trading, you got rich from day trading. That's a fact. However, staying this way and keeping my love from trading comes from swing trading. Day trading was because I had no resources, no time, no wife, no kids, no mansion, no money, no nothing, but just me in a room, right? Before Big Brother, right? Then getting on TV, then I meet Bailey, okay, then it's just me and my fiance, then it's me and my wife, right? But that's it, right? So day trading was a lot easier because I can afford to be on the charts every single day, right? All the time. But when you actually make it in this industry and you realize how stressful trading actually is, and you actually get a wife and you start get a kid and you get a business, then you realize, oh, I can do the same thing, make the same exact trade, but swing trade it and hold it for a week or 2 weeks and then get out. It's so much less stressful when, you have to focus on 1, 2, or 3 trades every 2 weeks versus 1, 2, 3 trades every single day. It's a lot less stressful. Your main job should cover your daily expenses, but trading should be all the fun things that you want, that you deserve, and to reward yourself. And what I mean by that is if you have a 9-to-5 job, that should cover your expenses. Now, if you don't like your 9-to-5 job, this is the reason why I created Deep Pockets, because we teach so many concepts on there that you can go on, sign up, and learn a new skill and apply it within the first 3 to 6 months and actually start making real money out in the real world, whether it's videography, whether it's graphic design, whether it's social media marketing and social media managing, whether it is dropship, whatever it may be. We teach these real life skills, copywriting, so that you can learn and then reach out to your favorite influencer, your favorite content creator, and say, yo, I've been doing this, blah, 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 blah. Here's some of my work. I would love to do some work for you for free. And if you like it, then we can talk about working on a long-term basis. And then all of a sudden, if they hire you, you do that with enough content creators, one of them say yes, they hire you. Now you have a job that actually pays you and takes care of your expenses that you actually like. That's not your 9-to-5 job. I just gave you guys a whole hack on deeppockets.com. Whole hack. It's the whole premise of it, right? Besides, teaching people how to gain financial literacy, this is the premise, to give you guys monetizable skills, right? But trading money, even though trading money can eclipse your main job and your main source of income, that should be for all the fun money, right? That 9-to-5 job or the freelancing stuff should take care of, your rent, your daily stuff, X, Y, Z. But trading, even if you make more, that should buy you the nice car. That should buy you the nice watch. That should buy you, the nice, I have it in my bag. And it's so crazy because I don't even care about, these expenses no more. This chain, right? Swaggy C chain, right? Like I can literally put all of this on trading, but I'm not even gonna do it. It's all like messed up right now. But trading should pay for this and the Cuban and the Kobe Bryant chain, right? All that type of stuff. Like trading should pay for that. I don't even got the Rolex or the bracelet over here, but like trading should pay for all of that, right? And Q brought this up to me as well, where it's like, you got to feel like you earn it, right? Like you can do the freelancing thing easy, the clockwork in your sleep, but like when you do it through trading and it's like, oh, like if I really want that car and I don't want to pay cash for it, but I want to get a Lamborghini and put a down payment on it and then pay X amount a month, I got to work for it. And I gotta really work for it through trading. And when you look at it from that perspective, it makes life so much easier. I'm working to take care of myself and my family. Trading is to give us all the lavish things we want, because it's basically, it's not free money because you got to work for it, but it's money that can be so small because you cut it short, you take profit so short, or it could be so high. But that should be where your fund derives from. Next one. Someone who has their psychology and risk management down packed and secured to a T, but has iffy technicals, is going to be so much better far off than someone who is a technical master, but they do not have their psychology in check and their risk management sucks. What I mean by that is it's quite simple, right? When you look at somebody who can like literally look at the charts and like have the cleanest charts ever, the most beautiful, sexiest charts ever, they still will suffer from greed and blown accounts and risking too much. They don't know what they're doing. They're risking 30, 40, 50%. That person, even if they look at the charts way better, it's not gonna be better than somebody who like doesn't really look at the charts that well, but does a good enough job, but not like great. But they don't risk over a certain amount. They got their psychology in check. If they lose a few trades, they know when to walk away. If they win a couple of trades, they know when to keep going or stop for the day or for the week and take all the profit. That person is so much better. That is the person that, actual hedge funds will actually, look at you, companies, private companies, private investors, like people like that in general will all look at that person as like, okay, this person has a risk plan, because the thing that people don't want to do, hedge funds, like any company in the world, they don't want to lose money. Losing money happens, but nobody wants to lose money. Even if you're just betting on a basketball game, nobody wants to lose money, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, and somebody has a risk manager down pat to secure themselves from massive losses, not from losses in general, because you're going to lose no matter what, but from massive losses, you're so much better off. So instead of focusing on being like a technical god or master X, Y, and Z, like you can still try to focus on that, but the reality of the situation is you really, really should be focusing on how to control my psychology and how to control my risk. You do that, you'll be a lot better off. All right. You need to treat trading like it's the NBA. And if you don't watch the NBA, think of your favorite sport, treat it like that. Because they have a training camp, they have a preseason, they have an actual regular season, they have a playoffs, right? They have the championship, right? Then they have an off season, and then it starts all over again. And what I mean by that is everybody's competing for this elusive title, the championship, right? Now, this is a one-on-one game, really, right? So, like, it's not like we're competing with 30,000 other people, right? But realistically is they have a goal to get to. When they get there, they stop, they celebrate, they have fun. And I always say traders will be a lot better off if whatever they're, like, they set an actual goal and stick to it. So if your goal is to make 10,000 in a single day, and you trade all year till you get that. When you get that, do not try to trade the next day or day after that. Like, stop, celebrate, go on vacation, do something to celebrate that monumental moment, because that is going to help you in the long haul in terms of the feeling that you get when you do go on that vacation and celebrate, like, yo, this happened because I did what I said I was gonna do. If you don't do that and you make that 10,000 a day, you try to trade the next day and you lose half of it, you're not gonna have a good feeling when you think about it. But when you get that point, when you get that ring, right? Basketball players get the ring. Steph Curry cried when he got his. Jason Tatum, yada, X, Y, and Z, right? Like, when you get that ring, you celebrate, you stop. So your ring could be 10,000 a day. Ring number 2 can be, oh, you know, when I make, you know, 50K in a year and then 100K in a year and then start going up, right? I got these championship belts, but like behind me, I got the World Heavyweight Championship here, the original Undisputed Universal Champion there. But in there, I got like John Cena's belt, Cody Rhodes' belt, Roman Reigns' belt, Edge's belt, the $1 Million belt, the Rock's. So like I got a bunch of different belts. But like originally, it was like a ring for me. I told myself that every time I made $2 million from trading, the business, sponsorships, affiliates, anything, I just get a belt. And it just stacked up. Those are my rings, right? So you guys got to figure out what it is that you want that like feels like an actual ring. It may sound cheesy, but it's not. When you look at it from that perspective of, oh, flat out, like I'm doing it for like to get to this goal, and then trading becomes more fun because when you get to that goal, then what? Then you can celebrate, you did it, and it gives you a bigger boost to get there in year 2 and get another ring. Now, I don't know if this is controversial, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Don't listen to people. Trading communities will be and should be your best friend, but take each trading community with a grain of salt. So that means is join all the trading communities. Why not? Like you'll never go broke from getting more knowledge ever, right? But back to what I was saying, when you look at trading communities, right, they look at you flat out and they try to help you. So you're looking at a bunch of people who's actually trading with you. You're not alone. When you're in a room by yourself, or you're in Connecticut or Rhode Island, or X, Y, Z by yourself, you don't have nobody to relate to. Trading community should be and will be your best friend because it gives you a case study on who makes it, who loses, who propels, who quits. And you can see that all firsthand and think, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Because now you have a bunch of friends who are there. The reason why gamers hang out with gamers and streamers hang out with streamers, ball players hang out with ball players, like that's just the reality. People who study science hang out with other scientists, right? Because that's your clique. And with trading, again, trading is the one thing in the world where you don't really have a clique. You got to join a trading community so you can have some type of clique where it's like people you can rock with and ride with who will be happy for you when you succeed, and then you're happy for them when they succeed. But what I mean by take it with a grain of salt, I mean, don't go in the trading community and listen to their advice blindly no matter what. Always trust your own analysis no matter what. Trust your gut, trust your analysis no matter what. And I've seen a lot of trading communities where people would, flat out have their bias, but listen to somebody else and their bias and lose the trade flat out, because they listen to that person blindly instead of trusting their own bias. So join all the trading communities. That may not be the, conventional wisdom out there in the world, but from me, Swaggy C, like I said, brutally honest advice for the last decade. Join the trading communities, look at what people are saying, but take everything with a grain of salt. And you'll be able to read everything, but only intake what you want to intake, which is the best of both worlds. This kind of goes with the every single day is not a trading day, but taking a break from trading is like taking a break from your family. Like sometimes you literally need it. Like, and I don't mean that to be funny, like sometimes you literally need a break from your family, right? No matter who it is, you need some isolation time. It's healthy, right? So when you take a break from trading, back to what I was saying, like it is literally the best thing you can do, because when you come back to the charts, your mind will be so much peaceful. I went over this earlier, so I don't need to stay too much on it now, but I just want to bring it in there that to hammer home the point, you can take a break from trading. When I mean break, I don't mean a year, no, or 6 months. I mean, take some time off, take a week, take 2 weeks off. If you want to take a whole month off, great, but make sure when you come back, you're ready to trade and not like, oh, this 1 month's gonna turn 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. That's what happened to me when I took all that time off going on Big Brother TV and then doing all these red carpets. I just stopped trading for months. When I came back to it, it seemed like I was fresh and I was already 5 years in, right? At that point, or 4 years in, yeah, 2018. So I started trading 2014, 2018, I got on Big Brother. So yeah, but I was already 4.5 years in at that point. So it's healthy to take a break, but don't take too long of a break. Now, this is a good one. The statistics of traders that make it out there in the world are technically factual, but realistically not accurate. And what I mean by that is they don't paint the full picture or the full story. Because when they say, oh, 90% of traders lose, they factor in the guy during COVID who put some money into Bitcoin and then lost it by trading it and then never traded again. That person counts. So for me, I'd like to see the stats. I want to see the stats. I need to see the stats. I don't want to hear anything but the stats of people who have been doing this for 5 years. From there, tell me who makes it. Then I would really, listen to a statistic, whether it's 83% of people don't make it or 80 or 75. That's a real more statistic than, 90% of traders lose and you're counting somebody who just started trading for a week and then quit, right? Now, those can be two separate things. Now, you can say, oh, traders in their first 5 years, 90% quit or lose. That's factual. But then also say traders who last after year 5, then that 90% of lose turns into 78% of lose, so an extra 12% increase or something. But don't just give this blanket statement that 90% of traders lose and that's that, because you're counting in your Auntie Sally, and I can't believe I just said Auntie Sally like Gary Vee, your cousin, your whatever, Brandon, whoever you want to talk about, Nick, Jason, Aaron, whoever you want to talk about, right? Like your cousin, whatever, right? It includes them who started for a day, put money into Robinhood, lost it, never traded again. MetaTrader, lost it, never traded again, right? So when you look at stats, this is why I always say take everything with a grain of salt and only focus on you. All that matters is what you think, what you want, and what you care about, not what the stats online say. Because the stats online say the chance of making it to the NBA is 0.0001%, and NBA players still go for it, and their parents still, egg them on as if they can go when they have an iffy shot, or when they do have a shot, like you're actually LeBron James and you don't just have a shot, you have a shot to be the greatest of all time, right? Like the chance of being in the NBA are very, very small, but NBA players don't let that deter them away from chasing their dream. Same with being a hockey player, same with everything else. So keep that same mindset when it comes to trading. Next one, do not be a skeptic at all. Anybody saying, oh, if X, Y, and Z, whether it's me or somebody else, if they're so good at trading, then they shouldn't be teaching. Okay, then why did Warren Buffett teach an investing principles class the same year his last investment failed? Like, we can have conversations all day when people want to pick and choose what they want to talk about, right? And for me, obviously, I'm not comparing anybody in this industry to Warren Buffett. I'm not doing that at all. I'm not doing that at all. I'm not doing that at all. What I'm saying is, when I forgot how old he was. I don't know if he was 27, 26, 25. I don't know how old he was, but I know that Warren Buffett had an investment. It failed, and then he went on to the university. I don't know if it was Nebraska, XYZ. He taught late night classes on investment principles. Now, we can talk about if he charged for it or if he didn't charge versus people on YouTube who charge or don't charge. That's neither here nor there. But the reality of the situation is nobody, at least not me, and this is why this is important and what I realized over the years is that it's not wrong to teach the information that you've been given. It's not wrong at all, right? Like it's a way to give back, but it's also an extra stream of income, but also makes you feel good and great that you're actually doing something to change somebody's life. And people want to make, people feel bad about it. Do not be a skeptic of somebody who's in there who's like, oh, what if this trader is, not really profitable, X, Y, and Z. Just learn. And you want to learn from the right person. So it's okay to look at their YouTube track record, X, Y, and that's all cool. But instead of spending 30 days on, is this trader fake, this real, this fake, this real, over 20 traders, just focus on how you can learn the information, how you can be real, and how you can be the best. That's the main thing that matters, because what I realize is, especially for me, but people out there, nobody out there is saying flat out, hey, learn from me and you'll make $20 million. Nobody's saying that. And that's what gets me so riled up, is because my friends stopped trading because, we were learning from somebody back in 2015 and they started being skeptical, saying, oh, this person may not even be a real trader, so I'm just gonna fall off. And then they quit their entire journey. Whereas I kept going, and you see where I'm at, right? So it pans out, so I get passionate because it's like you're worrying about the wrong things. What people are saying is, if somebody made $500,000, here's how I made $500,000. Do you want to learn how I did it? And maybe you can make more, maybe you'll make less, but here's how I did it. Take the information. That's what people are saying. Just like I said it in my, the 17 cure for your biggest trading problem video. There's a guy out there who wrote how I made $2 million in the stock market. It's a book on how he made $2 million in the stock market, and I bought it. That's his truth and his story, but it's also a business for him. It's an income for him. People buy the book, so you shouldn't look at it as, well, if they were great at trading, they shouldn't teach trading. That's not the case with everybody. We live in a modern society now where education is getting bigger and bigger, and people just like teaching. I personally love teaching. Like, there's people out there who love writing, right? Like, I know Alex Hormozy said he loves writing. He just was always a writer, right? For me, I was always a speaker and an educator. I just always was, no matter what it was. Even basketball, I was doing basketball lessons with little kids and teaching them how to play basketball, right? I was babysitting kids and teaching them I just always was just a natural educator and teacher, and a leader. So for that, especially in this industry, what I've seen is people generally have genuine hearts, and most people try to help you than not. Most people in this industry are actually genuine. And if you would just stop being a skeptic and just go in to just learn the information and then take what you want, because I've said this so many times, especially if you don't know me, you may not know this, but I bought many different courses back in 2014 and 2015. 6 out of those 9 courses I don't even use, but I learned something to get me from point A to point B to point C to point D, all the way to point, course number 9, right? So look at it from that perspective. And again, life will be so much better when you're more optimistic and just there to learn and gain value, even if it's just 1%, even if it's to learn what not to do. There's a power in learning something from everybody. I can learn something from R. Kelly, what not to do. Right? Like, you can learn something from literally everybody. So be like a sponge when it comes to that and just learn. Lastly, and I want you guys to listen very, very closely. If you make $100,000 via trading, you are solidified, no ifs, ands, or buts. Because you did something and you made 6 figures in an industry where not a lot of people do that. The majority don't. You look at your peers, people you look up to, even if it's me, who's making X amount of money, and you're like, well, 100K is not enough. That is better than almost every single trader in this world. Like, that's just reality. You look at, if there's 1 million traders in this world and there's 10,000 profitable, 10,000 over the other, 990,000. Yeah, right? That's more than the majority of the world. Right? You're solidified. That doesn't mean just start a course, but you can write a book and say how I made $100,000 in 3 months. That's a book I would buy. And I've made more than that, but that's a book I would buy, right? So if you've made over $100,000, you are solidified. Again, that does not mean start anything X, Y, and Z. That just means that you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I made 6 figures through trading and trading alone, and that should be commended and applauded. And then you scale it up. Okay, like, can I get to 200? Can I get to 300? So that now you can do what I said before in the past, use some of that money to diversify. But don't let anybody, there's people out there making 6 figures from prop firms, and people are making them feel bad about themselves, you know, or oh, good job. That's not just a good job. That deserves a celebration. You made 6 figures. You deserve a party thrown for you tomorrow to celebrate that. And look at it from that perspective. Flat out, look at it as, if I reach this number, 6 figures, a lot of people can't say they made 6 figures through trading. That should be celebrated. And when that happens, please celebrate. All right, guys, I know that was a lot of information, but I really wanted to, summarize some of the best things I've learned over my decade experience trading and being here in this industry, and what I've seen and what I've come across. And I feel like I encapsulated it the best way I possibly could. Please listen to every single point that I made and take it very, very seriously. And you very well can see drastic changes in your journey by just listening and having that. But again, go back to one of the points I made, without having a time limit. Everything I said, but don't put a time limit on it. Be very, very, very patient. Bonus one, be patient. Delay the ask, delay the, the need for, I need to be rich. Just go through the process. And with that, I will end it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Williams, aka Swaggy C. And if you got this far in the video, then you clearly know who I am, or a little bit about my story. I've been trading for the last decade, running businesses for the last 5 years, multi-millionaire, live between Puerto Rico and Dubai, got a wife, got 2 beautiful kids, got a great family and great people around me. And I'm very, very happy and excited. And my whole purpose of this all is to give you guys game and teach you financial literacy. That's the #1 goal. Teach you financial literacy, and then within that, give you a monetizable skill that you can walk away from. And that is why I created the platform Deep Pockets, because it goes into depth. And I have that platform where I teach, financial literacy, and then I teach it for free on YouTube right here. I just gave you guys close to an hour worth of content for free, just so you guys can understand, how to get better in your journey. And if you like that video, please do me a favor and just subscribe to the channel, because I really want to grow it. And I feel like I'm really giving, great value and great advice. And the only way I can measure that is if my channel is growing, if the comments are growing, if the likes are going up. That's the only way I can measure it. So if you guys can do me that favor, I would really, really, really appreciate it. Thanks, gang. And I will see you guys in the next video. That was a long video, dog.